Good morning, everyone. I'm Nikki,
And I'm Beer.
and this is a Monday Coffee with Jexo, where we scan through the last week's news and updates from across the Atlassian ecosystem. The links for the topics we are going to discuss today are all linked in the description or in the comment below, depending on what platform you are coming from. So, the first one, which we have on the list, is from Beer.
Yes, so we start this week with some great news. Atlassian just announced the launch of 20,000 user per instance support. This means that larger organizations with 10K plus or up to 20K employees, for example, can have all of their teams share one Jira instance. The increase unlock is available for both Confluence and Jira across the standard, premium, and enterprise plans. Atlassian is progressing well towards the next milestone, which is 35,000 users instance sizes to be launched by next year. In this announcement, there's mention of support for running multiple instances and guidance for how and when to do so, even even if you're a 50,000 employee company, this read will be very helpful for you as well. And the next bit, let me just share my screen. Right. So, to continue down this road of great news for cloud transitions, last week the much anticipated news dropped. Data residency rollout has begun for standard and premium tiers. After this feature was launched for enterprise users a while ago, the feedback was predominantly towards making this possible for other plans, given that fundamentally compliance does not apply only to large organizations. So, data residency means you'll be able to choose where your Jira and Confluence data is stored. And currently available locations are US and Germany, with Australia, UK, and Japan, and others to become available soon. Um, all the new licenses started post 30th of June will automatically have residency option embedded, and existing instances will have this feature available gradually by October of this year.
This is some great news for the bigger companies, the bigger seats in the Jira Cloud and the residency. So that's really good. So I'm
Yeah, so
continuing with.
just a quick thing. So I didn't share my screen. I forgot to share it. So this is the announcement. Go through and read. This is quite important.
So I have some improvements here as well, but not necessarily related to the bigger companies. So the first of them is about the original time estimation field that is now available in team managed projects. So you can now go to the features sections in your project settings and choose between story points and time estimation. And when you do the switch, the original estimate field is then shown on the backlog and Kanban board cards. And you can then customize your issues and keep original estimate field only for the issue types you need. So that's very useful. And there is also quite a nice automation rule in the end of this article where you can do the sum up of the story point of the remaining estimate field and original estimate field from your child issues. So that's quite useful. And the second small improvement that I have on my list over here, let me just reshare my screen, is quite small, but I think useful, and it's related to the Confluence tables. So there is this handy feature available that is called the distribute columns, and it allows you to quickly resize selected columns so they have the same width. So you can just select some of the columns, or you can select all of them, and then all of them will have the same width after you use this feature. So that's quite useful.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Right. Share my screen. All right, so JSM 4.18. So Jira Service Management update for data center and server is here with some neat new features. You can now choose to show SLAs on the portal for various request types, which helps set expectations with the customer. The search functionality can be disabled per project basis, and also you can mention users in comments the same way you do in Jira, the default Jira projects. Setting multiple emails for support is a thing now as well, meaning you can choose multiple addresses where support emails received on these will be automatically converted into JSM tickets. And and a few other things in there. So go and check this latest update.
And that's data center and server only, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you, Biro. So on the other note, we finished with the improvements over here, and we are jumping into community. And I have some exciting announcement for everyone who likes to collect the badges in the Atlassian user community. The last week, a new campaign kickstarted, and it's called Jira July. So what's going to happen over the month of July is that there will be numerous posts about how Jira can help you, to improve the way you work, but there also will be 4 threads that you can reply on, or like 4 activities that you can attend. And the activities are Throwback Jira, Automation Nation, Admin Appreciation Day, and the Atlimpics. So the one that caught my eye was the Automation Nation topic. That's quite interesting because you can submit your favorite automation rule that you have in Jira, and then the Atlassian team will pick the best one and they will introduce it in the Jira product itself. And you can also name the rule. So that's quite interesting. It's all written here, so that's where I assumed it from. So if you have some automation that it might be useful and that really helps your team, then you can post it on the thread under Automation Nation and see if it's going to get picked and then introduced in Jira itself.
That is brilliant.
I think I will submit some of mine.
Yeah, please do. Moving on, another brilliant research post from Caitlin. And I promise I'm not just saying that because Jigsaw is mentioned in the article. But if you're a young marketplace partner and sometimes feel you're swimming against the currents because big partners get all the attention, then this read is a must. As Caitlin unveils key points on how to make your apps more discoverable, as well as signal trust through things like security accreditation, reliable documentation, and support, but also brand image. I'll say no more. Go read the article, is good, especially if you're just starting out.
Yeah, that's the must read, I guess, because it's always hard to figure out how to start, right? So it will be useful for a lot of new vendors out there.
Exactly.
On the other note, I have some exciting news for Jira admins here. So what was released to Atlassian University last week is a free training course that it's called Jira Fundamentals. The training course will take around 90 minutes, and it will prepare you to get started with Jira itself, and you will understand the key Jira terminology, concepts, how to navigate, and the best practices as well. So it's really great tool for administrators who need to onboard a new Jira users. And if you try this Jira fundamentals learning, then definitely give a comment over here and feedback to let the Atlassian team know if it's helpful or no for you and how they can improve.
All right, and guess what?
What?
Right. Some new but old news. Regular news. According to the Enterprise Times article that I'm listing here, this is the biggest acquisition that AppFire has made since the 100 million funding round from earlier this year. With this acquisition, AppFire now enters the rapidly expanding PPM space in the hopes to effectively scale the software plant team and operation and continue to lead the way. The big picture products owned by Software Plant come with an impressive number of customers, so the acquisition should pump AppFire numbers significantly.
When I heard this news last week, I was like, what?
Now that's big. That's pretty big.
Yeah, I did not expect that to happen, honestly. Okay, so I have a final topic over here today, which is, as usual, the article of the week. And this time we had a look on the Trello's blog. I found this cool article called 4 Common Workplace Conflicts and How to Solve Them. So in the beginning, well, let's start it like this. Everyone, of course, sees their company as a beautiful place to work, which it is, and that there are no conflicts and everyone loves each other. But that is not usually the thing. Actually, 85% of employees had to deal with some type of conflict at some point. Well, of course, that conflicts are necessary to move the progress of the company forward, but they need to be managed properly. And this article brings you 4 types of conflicts, like, for example, different personalities or working styles or broken workflows and so on, and the tips on how to deal with them. So I think it's quite useful and quite eye-opening. I guess you can see yourself in many of them. And today morning I had on this one where 2 people or 2 different team members who have a different work styles and how to deal with this. And there's this gif of 2 doggies having an argument and the third one trying to calm them down. So that quite resembles some of the meetings to sometimes, right? Yeah, so definitely have a look. It's quite funny as well.
That's funny, but definitely a very valid analogy to what usually happens in conflicts. Okay, so before we end, just a quick mention. I started a new videocast series talking about our experience starting and growing a SaaS business. Every week, I talk about various startup and marketplace topics. So if interested, have a look at the Startup Corner videos on our YouTube channel. So just a tiny bit of a shameless plug over there. And that's about it for the news about Atlassian. I hope you enjoyed Monday Coffee with Jexo, whether you're watching it with us live or recorded later. Just a reminder, links to all of the topics we discussed today are in the description, so don't forget to check them out. If you have any suggestions on what we should be talking about next week, let us know in the comments. And we'll both see you next Monday at 9:30 a.m. and have a great week.
Have a great week, everyone.